Now we're going to talk about squares. Squares is a square is another quadrilateral, which is a parallelogram. When I say it's a parallelogram, automatically you know that squares will inherit all of the properties of a parallelogram. Now a square has 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. So this means that a square, additionally to being a parallelogram, it's also going to be a rectangle, and it's also going to be a rhombus. Why? Because the definition of a rhombus says that it has 4 congruent sides. Since a square has 4 congruent sides, I can define this as a rhombus. And for a rectangle, the rectangle says the definition says 4 right angles. So since a square has 4 right angles, the square is also a rectangle. Okay? So for the square is going to have all the properties of a parallelogram. It's going to inherit all the properties of the rectangle and all the properties of the rhombus. So this one has everything. This will have opposite sides are congruent, opposite angles are congruent, consecutive angles are supplementary. The diagonals of a square bisect each other. They are perpendicular and they are congruent. So the square has all the properties that we have learned so far. Let's see an example. In square KLMN, KL is 50. Let's label that. KL is 50. KM is approximately 70.7. And that's this diagonal here. The whole thing is approximately 70.7. Now they want us to find the length LM. That's this length here, the side. Since this is a square and all sides are congruent, this is also 50. So this is equal to 50. Now they want us to find LN. LN, here's LN. LN is that other diagonal from here all the way down here. So since this is a square, the diagonals are congruent. That means that LN will measure the same thing as the other diagonal, 70.70. The measure of KOL, the angle KOL, this is angle KOL. 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 That's this angle here, and we know in a square that the diagonals are perpendicular. That means that this angle is 90 degrees. And the measure of angle LOM, that's this angle here. LOM. Sorry about that. LOM, this angle here. LOM. And again, that angle is 90 degrees because the diagonals are perpendicular. Okay? Next example. Here's a little true or false. If a figure is a square, then it is a rhombus. True or false? This is true. If this is a square, the definition of a square is that it has 4 congruent sides. So is a square a rhombus? A rhombus has 4 congruent sides. So yes, a square is a rhombus. It's a type of a rhombus. It's a rhombus that has 4 right angles. That's another way you can look at it. If a figure is a rectangle, then it cannot be a rhombus. If it's a rectangle, it cannot be a rhombus. Why can't it be a rhombus? This is true. Remember that a rectangle's definition is it has 4 right angles. And the definition of a rhombus is that all sides are congruent. We know that for a rectangle, all sides are not congruent. We have opposite sides are congruent, but not all sides are congruent. Therefore, a rectangle cannot be a rhombus because it would have to have all sides congruent. Okay? So this is false. If a figure is a rhombus, then it cannot be a rectangle. It cannot be a rectangle. That is true because a rhombus has all sides congruent and a rectangle doesn't. The same reason as we had for the previous one. A rhombus, all congruent sides, a rectangle, 4 right angles. So a rhombus, if it's a rhombus, it cannot be a rectangle. Okay? So this is true. Next example. This is our last example for squares. It tells you to find x. Notice, this is a square. This is a square. So I know that this angle here, remember what the definition of a square. All sides are congruent and it has 4 right angles. So this angle is 90 degrees, this one is 90, this one is 90, this one is 90. If this angle is 90 and it's also 5x, then I can write that 5x has to be equal to 90. And then I solve for x. Divide by 5 on both sides, and x is equal to 18. And that's your final answer. And you can go back and check. You can say, well, 5 times x is the same thing as 5 times 18, which is 90 degrees. And you're done. I hope this has helped you, and it's going to help you with homework. When you start doing your homework, you can refer back to these videos to refresh your memory on all the properties, and you really have to know these back and forth in order to answer some of these questions or in order to find answers to certain problems. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you in my next video, which is going to be on trapezoids. I'll see you then.